Welcome to another spiritual session with your host, Sheena. And we are going to talk today about, when you go through a spiritual awakening, more or less, it's more or less a wake up call where you're starting to see that, not everything is as it seems. You're starting to realize that you have taken on roles and become a person that other people have kind of molded you into, so you don't quite 100% know yourself. You also are, excuse me, spiritual birth there, confirmation. Um, you are also pretty much having to shed all these layers of um, trauma and a mask and a false identity and beliefs and all these things. So you're kind of like slowly becoming your true self, more or less. Um, Something that I wanted to bring up is the fact that so many people, when I first started going through my spiritual awakening and starting to really like wake up to the people that were around me and who I was married to and the narcissistic behaviors and all these things, like once I like woke up to these things, I realized that I was terrified. I was terrified of being a narcissistic person. And so I went down that rabbit hole of like really trying to understand and really check and see if I was a narcissist myself, which really and truly the only way to really check to make sure you're not a narcissist is usually if you are worried and you are checking to see if you are a narcissist, then you aren't one. Because a genuine narcissist doesn't care if they are one. It's like, okay, cool, whatever, fine. So, that's kind of one of the telltale signs. But the thing I wanted to, there's the word empath gets thrown around a lot. And so I think for a lot of people, it kind of gets overused a little bit, but there's lots of different kinds of empaths. Now, the one that I want to bring up is the Heyoka empath. So, why I want to bring this one up is because of the fact that this empath has a little bit of a different take on how they are empathic. And they're kind of like, they're called the sacred clown for a reason because of the fact that they dark humor and are, jokesters and, you know, childlike and stuff like that. And so I personally think this one can be a little bit difficult because what you do when you are a Heyoka empath, you can't help but do it. It's actually kind of just like instinctual, and you see yourself, doing the tasks that are required of you, but you have to just let it play out. Like you can't actually, really control the outcome of how you are around other people, which can be very exhausting, really and truly. It's a very exhausting one because this one is like you have to recharge a lot. It's a your battery gets like worn out really quickly. So you have to like jumpstart it multiple times and you have to like do a lot of work to cleanse it and stuff like that, which is stuff I'll have to go down and talk about at one point. But okay. So um it's a Native American concept. That's why it's like Heyoka. That's the name. And so it is a type of empath that is a spiritual trickster, more or less. And so the Heyoka empath feels everything. And that can be very, and why I'm bringing this up is because they like, when you can feel everything, it is insanely hard to understand what is yours and what is not yours, what is everybody else's, and trying to differentiate between what are your feelings and what are somebody else's feelings. And when you're in like large groups, which is why it can be very draining, if you're in very large groups, it can be kind of an overload. That's why, being around very large groups, you can just get super tired and you can just feel overstimulated and you just want to go take a nap or something like that. So, with that, it's one of those things that you have to be cautious about these, I want to say, powers, gifts, whatever you want to call them. It can be quite powerful. But um, which you're going to hear me use a lot of humor. I always like to use a lot of humor. Um, that's just kind of how our family is. We have, you know, we joke a lot. But so the powers. Okay, we're going to talk about a couple of them. So the first one, like I was talking about, is you can feel everything. And it's if you can hone it well enough, or if you have been isolated at a very young, very early age for a very long time, you can feel everything. And I mean like everything as in like you can feel the universe. You can feel the earth where like I felt an earthquake this morning. I was meditating and early in the morning I felt the earthquake that was happening out in Nevada from my house in Utah. And it wasn't that big, but it was like I could feel it. Like I was trembling a little bit. Like I could feel the shaking. I had to go look online to see where the earthquake was coming from. So I knew how far away it was. Um, and then there's you can feel the planets move. Like ahead of time when specific planets are coming in or leaving or in are retrograde, the moon cycles, like all of that stuff, you can feel it. So that is being very in tune with being able to feel everything. So, just especially lots of emotions, like you can feel people's emotions before they tell you, like when someone's sad, when someone's upset, when all of these, like you just know, but they haven't said anything, and you can guess right away, like, are you okay? You seem pretty upset, and they haven't said anything yet. So just these are little things that you start to like wake up to and start noticing about whenever you are going on this little trip and you're trying to figure out more about who you are and why you can do the things that you can do and why you feel the things you feel, and you're trying to not gaslight yourself, you're trying to understand it, and you're trying to say, hey, I just have this ability to know things. You're learning that you're a Heyoka empath. It's okay. So the first and foremost one is the emotional mirror. So let me pause this and I'll put it up there. Emotional mirror. So with the emotional mirror, you are a reflection to that other person, a spiritual reflection of their insecurities, their emotions, their like the um like when someone is a hypocrite about certain things, like they say one thing but they do another, you also mirror that back to them. Um, just you, how to put this? Literally, you are a mirror to them. You will show them what they dislike and feel about themselves. Uh, it's quite interesting, especially when dating can be very difficult with this one. Um, because of the fact that like you they have to be a secure person and you have to be a secure person to be able to even discuss, because of the fact that if that person has insecurities and if that person is controlling and if that person is, certain ways, then you're going to show that right back. And so you're showing that person the things that they need to work on and that they need to fix, heal, whatever it may be, things that their emotions that they are feeling. So if they are gaslighting you, if they are trying to control you, you're going to be that way to them. If and it's not the fact that you're going out of your way to do it, it's just like your body automatically does it without you even thinking. And you're like, "Wait, why did I do that? Why was I acting that way? That doesn't make any sense." Um so like insecurities. When it comes to insecurities, that's a big one because so many people, there are so many guys that are insecure about their looks. And so whenever it comes to uh, the alpha male kind of thought processes, they will go and use triangulation and all of that stuff to try and control the situation. They will like make up stories to tell the guys so that the guys will not talk to you, because they're trying to mark their territory or whatever it may be. And so with that, it's one of those things that you in turn will also repeat that back. Um, and so with that, you have to understand that that person is also a mirror. If you are a mirror to them, they are a mirror to you. So things that you don't like about them are also things that you subconsciously don't realize you're doing and you don't like about yourself. I know that's a tough pill to swallow. That's harsh. I know. I know. I'm sorry. But it's true. It's true. I have that exact same situation with my own children. Whenever they do something that pisses me off, like I get upset about, I have to stop and take a look at that situation and I have to be like, hey, wait a minute. I do that. And now I'm getting mad at you for doing it whenever I can't get mad at you for doing it because I do it too. So I would be a hypocrite and I don't want to be a hypocrite because I was raised by one. Um, do as I say, not as I do, that kind of mentality. And so I don't want to be a hypocrite. I want to have integrity with my word. So, it's one of those things that uh, whenever I would have my kids do, I would get upset at them over something. I had to stop and take a good hard look at myself. And I'm like, oh, ooh, that's not pretty because I do that. So can I honestly get mad at that person? No. So I will approach it in a different way, and I will also work on trying to heal that or self correct or, change something because I just don't like how that feels and I don't think it aligns with me in the way that I want to be. So That's one. And then we have the the energetic transmuter. I wanted to say transmitter, and I'm like, that's not it. But so let me write it up real quick. So that is just a really long word for you are an energy sponge, more or less. Like you are spiritual SpongeBob. Okay. What that means is that you can absorb trauma and negative energy from people, places, situations, whatever it may be. You clean up the spiritual mess. So you in turn are going to be extra tired. You are going to be exhausted sometimes. Confirmation right there. You are going to have to, like, a key thing in this aspect is the fact that you will need to have like a lot of alone time to to energize yourself back up to like recharge, uh getting out into nature, sitting on grass and giving that energy away to like mother nature. Just honestly, sitting and touching grass is so healing in the aspect of like you're just saying, hey mother nature, please take this. I don't need it anymore. It's all dirty. Can you please take it and divvy it out, recycle it, and give it to something new, whatever it may be. um on top of the fact that being alone, if you can, if it's possible, to spend some alone time um, as often as you can at work, that would be very helpful for you to be able to recharge and all of that stuff because, oh, sure. My bad. That was also a sign of the fact that um, for me, when I release energy, I yawn a lot. It's a Reiki thing and it's an energy clearing thing that whenever I am getting rid of toxic energy, I will yawn very frequently. It's, when your parasympathetic nervous system goes into rest and digest and all of that stuff, and your body's calming down, you yawn a lot. And so, like, it's my automatic go-to. I will even watch Reiki or energy clearing uh, um, practitioners while I'm working or listening to um, frequencies and stuff like that. I will listen to those to help cleanse the energy and clear the air. Except for this shit, whatever this is. Um, so you are an energy sponge and you just clean shit up. Now, the third one is you have a backwards approach or opposite day. Let's put it that way. Let's put it that way. So, what I mean by opposite day is that you have like a backwards approach to some things, or you might see things from like a different perspective. Case in point for me at work is the fact that we are supposed to receive in parts, and the parts go into bins that we designate for that part. Okay. Keeping up with me? I know this is very intricate work. I get it. It's hard. But so we have, Lord, we have a lot, like so many of the trays with the number on it and stuff like that. And so the people that need to take those parts to the designated area, they are, they will come and grab it from our bin and take it, and we have to fill it back up again. Now, some people might get pissed off about it. Some people might be like, you won't leave my stuff alone. I don't ever get a chance to be able to go take it and put it away. You're too busy, you know, cleaning it out. Or how I like to view it is, thank you for helping me out, because that's one less trip that I'm going to have to make, because you're helping me fill up all these holes. Like, you're giving me more room so I can put stuff in. So it's like opposite day. Same thing with when I quit Suboxone. Oh, sorry. When I quit Suboxone cold turkey, I wanted to go lay down in the bed, and I wanted to curl up in the fetal position and cry and moan and groan and all that. But I knew that it was better for my body and better for me to get up and exercise, walk around, and get that energy out and everything like that. And I would actually be better. But like I said, it's doing things in a backwards way. The fourth one is this one's a tough one, because not everybody likes it. And so, brutal honesty. Brutal honesty. They can be very blunt, very honest. And so it's kind of a blessing and a curse. Realize, which is so sad, because like everybody in this house falls under this category. Like, I am one, and all three of my kids are one. And so it's just kind of funny, because I'm like thinking of every time that they have said something very brutally honest and felt really bad about it. Thing about it is that you're going to be honest, and not everybody wants to hear that honesty. So sometimes you kind of have to, you should always be brutally honest, but you have to kind of like gauge the situation to see if that person can handle that brutal honesty. If there is no accountability for that person and everything is point the finger at someone else, they won't be able to accept the brutal honesty. They won't be able to say, like, I want the truth. And it's like, but do you? Do you really? Because you may not like it. So, make it stop, guys. I'm just trying to do a video. Um, with brutal honesty, it's really nice to get brutal honesty. I mean, seriously. But the thing about it is, you have to be careful about how you say things to other people, because you kind of have to gauge whether or not they're ready for it. And some people just can't take the brutal honesty, so you have to kind of like maneuver around with that one. Okay? So, meaning like, you have sharp truths. When you say something, it stings a little bit. So like, people will sometimes say, like, what you said hurt my feelings, and I get it. I get that sometimes we can verbally say things and it hurts another person. It's okay if it was not intentional. If you intentionally said it to just hurt their feelings, to like make them feel like crap, then yeah, that's not okay. But it's more like an accident, more like uncertainty, whenever you um I lost my train of thought now. I give up. I give up. No. Um you kind of have to just navigate through and see if somebody can take it or not. Because like sometimes, oh, there we go. Sometimes you can say something and it can be very blunt and very hurtful, but the intention was not to hurt somebody. You were just saying it out loud. My oldest daughter really struggles with that one the most, I would say. Um, because she'll say some things to her sister and it will spark drama between the two because it hurt one's feelings. The other person didn't mean to do it, and they're just like, I'm sorry. And so they aren't actually showing that they are sorry, They're just saying the words. But yeah, it, your words have power even more as a Heyoka empath. Like that's when you have to learn that skill of like knowing when to speak up and when not to, because if you so choose, you can take your words and you can use them as a weapon, and they can be very powerful. Um, Something that my mother was very good at. She knew how to find the jugular, and she knew how to find the sweet spots, and she knew how to just cut you until you like bled out, kind of cut you like in a way, um, with her words, because she was really good at tearing you down. So I'm just saying that it is a skill that can be used to help lift people up, but don't use it to really like tear people down. Okay. Um, you can be honest and still care at the same time. Um, and the last one is it's the humor part, the sacred clown. I was like, what was it called again? But I'm gonna pause it. Okay, so the humor and mischief one is like silly jokes, pranks, analogies, yeah, dark humor. Dark humor is one of them. Definitely one of those that we use in our house. We're always joking. Um, my son and I are always throwing jokes back and forth. Um, it's so funny because like we just all kind of like feel safe enough to be able to like joke with one another, to like lay into each other. And it's uh it's just funny because of the fact that we will joke about everything. So my oldest daughter said it at one point. I don't remember how it got started, but she was like, "Oh man, that hits. That hits so hard. That hits harder than my dad." And so that caught us all off guard, and we were like, "Dang, that was actually pretty funny." Um, then let's see, what was the most recent one that we just had? Um, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Um, we were joking about um Danielle and her pet bunny, and how her pet bunny uh peed and everything like that. And so we're just like throwing out silly little like oh, we're gonna just have to call you Mrs. Peabody, or like stupid silly things. On top of the fact that we use dark humor in the aspect of even with my son wants to try out for track probably next year. And it was so funny because I'm like, who you got that from, right? The being able to run really fast. You got that from me. Yep. It's all mine. I claim it all. I claim it. It doesn't, the rest of it, no. I mean, at least, you're doing something different than your dad, instead of running away from your problems, you're running for sport, like, see, you're alternating the timelines. Good job, sweetheart. We joke. We joke. Um, but I wanted to share these mostly because of the fact that if you suspect that you are one, do more research, look into it, help understand yourself a little bit better. Because the main point of all of this information is not to be at this like spiritual grandiose, like, oh, I'm better than you because I'm a Heyoka and you're not. You're just a lowly little empath. Oh my gosh, I'm so much better than you. No, it's not that. It's when you are trying to be able to separate your own feelings from other people's, when you are trying to find yourself and really understand yourself, these are key little things that you learn about that you're like, oh, okay, this helps me understand myself a little bit better. And there are other people like that. So it's a tool. That's all it is. It's a tool. And so I want to share this with other people because of the fact that sometimes you can feel like such a misfit because of all of these things. You kind of feel like you're like the odd one out and you're just the crazy person. Don't worry, you aren't. Not everybody can actually see all of that. So, you know, don't beat yourself up. But it's also the fact that, you know, learning to use these skills as a means of being able to heal yourself and then in turn healing other people, because that's the main goal in life, right? Is that we're all just trying to heal ourselves and help each other heal, and find our way home. So to self, to who we are, that's the main goal, I'm assuming. But I wanted to share these so that you had a better understanding and that you're not broken. Like, you're not. Uh, there's nothing wrong with you. You're just a little bit different, and this can help explain why. So I'm gonna let you go because I am gonna yawn again, and I think it's bedtime. I think it's bedtime, and I still need to get this up. So I will talk with you later. Stay beautiful and stay blessed because you are both beautiful and you are blessed. I love you.